So, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Yeah, this is not the Ebony Warrior quest review, but this is in fact a review of The Elder Scrolls V. Now, technically, I've already reviewed this game throughout the last, 4 years actually, but I want to do one video just going through the game and what it means to me. So in 2000, so on November 11th, 2011, the world had seen Skyrim on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Honestly, it was a really wonderful game, and I'll get into the reasons why. So, starting off with the original version, that of course being released that day. So, Skyrim's story is somewhat simple. It's just you're saving the world from an angry dragon, and that's really it. But Skyrim's magic comes from the fact that the world itself is just honestly, I'd have to say the world itself just captures the imagination that we all had. Skyrim is a perfect game for that, and the fact that you can do so much in this game really just made it stand out compared to other games. So, I guess what does Skyrim offer? Well, Skyrim features several guilds. You got the Dark Brotherhood, where you can be an assassin, the Thieves Guild, where you can become the Master Thief, you can become a companion, and eventually the Harbinger of the Companions. You can become the Archmage up in the College of Winterhold. You can stop the Civil War, or you can collect all 15 Daedric artifacts. Skyrim has a lot to do in this game, and however you play it is the right way. There's no wrong way to play Skyrim, and I think that's what really makes the game special, in my opinion, is that there's just so much to do. I think one of the things I really enjoyed about this game was the player choice. Depending on what build you want to do, the game has an answer to that. If you want to be a warrior, the game has several heavy armors, light armors, two-handed weapons, and one-handed weapons. If you want to be a mage, there's several spells that you can have at your disposal. If you want to be a thief, again, there's a build for that. And if you want to be crazy and mix all three of them, the game kind of has it covered, which really makes Skyrim a special game. The guilds too are special as well. Each with their own storylines and generally some really awesome characters. Even my least favorite guilds, that being the Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild, have some really awesome characters in them and a well-rounded story. Obviously, Skyrim's not perfect either. It has flaws. The original releases were somewhat very flawed. The PS3 version kind of didn't work quite a bit of the time, and the 360 version had its bugs. But overall, as the first release of Skyrim, it did something really good, and that was introduce the fan base of Elder Scrolls to a new take on the series. I mean, I haven't played Oblivion yet. I only have 1 hour in it, but I can definitely say had I played Oblivion first, I would have been completely blown away with Skyrim, after all those years. Which really makes going back to Oblivion feels special, because you kind of get to see what really laid the groundwork for this game. And of course, there was a few DLCs. Skyrim had 3 DLCs come out soon after. The first one we'll be talking about is, of course, Dawnguard. This one has 2 storylines. One where you get to fight vampires, and one where you work with vampires. So, what made Dawnguard good? I think it's the fact that it was a new spin on vampire hunters. I think it was really interesting, and the new spells and armor and weapons that they added with this one were pretty cool. Skyrim has 20 base shells in the game. Dawnguard added 3 more. While not much, it's still nice that Bethesda thought to add something to in the game to reward those who did everything in the DLC. The game also introduces a new kind of dragon known as the Legendary Dragon. They'll spawn at level 78 and are the toughest dragons in the game. Not the toughest enemy, that comes later, but it feels like the game is starting to reward you for doing everything. And I think that was what really made the first of these DLCs pretty fun. Next up, you of course have Hearthfire. Hearthfire, it's okay. It's just building houses, and that's really it. It's not a bad DLC, but it's a bit lackluster compared to the base game, and of course the aforementioned Dawnguard DLC. But it's still pretty decent. If you wanted to adopt kids and have them in a house you can build, the game kind of has you covered for that. Which really is what makes Skyrim a game that I feel like everyone could try. Is no matter how you play, there's no right or wrong way to enjoy Skyrim. If you just want to build houses and raise a family, go for it. The game encourages that. But if you want to be a warrior who goes in dungeons and fights stuff, the game has a ton of that. If you want to do both, same thing. Or if you just want to sell cabbage to people, make an honest living, the game has you covered, and that's what really makes Skyrim such a wonderful game in my opinion. Last but not least was of course the original DLC, Dragonborn. This one takes you back to Solstheim, which is a welcome addition and some really neat fan service for the game. Solstheim appeared originally in Morrowind's Blood Moon DLC, where you take place in one of Hyacinth's hunts. He doesn't appear in this DLC. He does have a quest in the vanilla version of Skyrim, which I do like and has meant a lot to me, and it was one of the first quests I reviewed on the channel. So, in Dragonborn, you're pretty much fighting against a old Dragonborn named Mirak, and uncovering secrets around him in Solstheim. I think it's a really interesting DLC. The main quest line honestly could have been better, but being able to travel throughout Solstheim and doing all of this cool stuff is pretty cool. They also add new dragon priests in the game, in the DLC, which really made it more interesting to play. The dragon priests were in the base game of Skyrim, and you encounter a few throughout the guild quests, or just by randomly exploring. I personally think that those quests are among some of the best ones of the game, because it kind of feels like a history lesson come alive. You get to see this ancient evil come back to life, and you are the only one that can stop it. Skyrim feels a lot like that. It's just, you are the only one that can do this thing. This is your story. This isn't some story where you are involved in it. Skyrim is the story surrounding the Dragonborn, which I think really makes it one of the most interesting games. And of course, these would later see a physical version with the Legendary Edition, which did seem to fix some bugs, and overall was a pretty entertaining game. In 2016, we got Skyrim, the Special Edition. There's not really anything special about this one. It's basically just a repackaged Skyrim. There's some bug fixes, and the game loads a lot faster when compared to the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, but there was really nothing to justify picking this one up unless you were a huge fan of the game, which obviously many people did, but it just felt that a lot of potential was missed. They did in fact add the Creation Club into this game some point later, but they also charged for it, which honestly, I don't mind the fact that it was charged for it. I just feel like maybe this should have just been DLC that you could just buy without having to sign up for the Creation Club. But overall, I think the special edition was pretty nice. It's a bit flawed, but this was definitely one of my favorite versions of Skyrim, and still is. Then, of course, we have the Anniversary Edition. So, in 2021, Skyrim was ported to the PS5 and Xbox Series systems, and a physical version was also re-released on the PS4 and Xbox One. This included all the Creation Club content up to that point, and overall, it really gave Skyrim a new life, in my opinion. It really made picking up Skyrim that much more worth it. And the quests added with this one, well, not all of them are the best. There are some ones that are flawed and somewhat really dull. Obviously, those ones I did cover in a previous video, but I will definitely say overall the Anniversary Edition was pretty fun. The new quests, the new armor, the new houses, I think they definitely make the Anniversary Edition worth it. But overall, how has Skyrim impacted my life? And is it worth picking up? Well, it's no secret that Skyrim has impacted my life. I mean, I wouldn't be making this video now if it didn't. I think overall Skyrim was just such a wonderful game. It's almost perfect. While there's issues with it, the game itself was very influential to not only me, but to quite a few other people. I think that's probably the best thing about the game, is that it had such a long lifespan. And obviously, there's the question of whether or not Elder Scrolls 6 will be as successful as Skyrim or not. Honestly, we have yet to see. But considering that the recent Oblivion remaster has been doing so well and is finding new fans, I seriously have no doubt that Elder Scrolls 6 will be... I have no doubt that Elder Scrolls 6 will have trouble finding an audience. Overall, I think Skyrim was just such a wonderful game. It served as a huge influence for how I saw world building and how I would write characters. It influenced some of the series I used to work on back when I used to write, and it was always a game I really enjoyed talking about. Hence, that being one of the reasons why I talked so much about it. Then also the fact that it's because of Skyrim that I've actually met several wonderful people, and it's great being able to talk about this game here. Well, it is certainly an older game and has flaws. I do think Skyrim is one of the best games we've ever seen, and I'm hoping to make more memories with it. It does bring a tear to my eye that I'll be wrapping up the quest reviews soon, but I do have other plans for Skyrim content for the future, and I don't see myself not talking about this game anytime soon. I think that really just proves how long-lasting this game was. There's always something new about this game to talk about, and there's always some new people to meet who haven't played this game or who have. I think it makes it really interesting. But I guess my closing thoughts on Skyrim, I think the game itself is just pretty wonderful. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played, and honestly, I recommend it to those who haven't played it yet. I feel like there's definitely a lot that they might be missing out on. But that's all I really have to say for today's video. And of course, next time I'll be back with a Ebony Warrior quest review. So until then, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.